Afternoon, Rev. That's me again, a diary of the griever named John Weaver, which would be me. It's 11:32 in the afternoon on West Coast time. It's still the 27th of March 2024. So I'm kind of responding to your session for today, Reverend. I appreciate you and the work that you're doing. I really do, and I really need to hear some stuff like this. Trust me, that all the blasted zeros and ones out there are driving me nuts at this point. Doing with all this political negative crap. But I'm grateful for you and your sermons and your preaching because I definitely need to hear it. You're talking about Trump and everything else, and I've been trying to do a hell of a lot of videos on mine. And I am just trying to let you know what's going on these days. Uh, I said before in one of my prayer requests, there is a friend of mine, Paula Tucker. She has had her dog for 15 years, and I don't know how long she's been doing grieving for others, but I know that once you accumulate a hell of a lot of stress on you, sometimes it does get to a person. And my channel in itself deals with my own uh, sessions concerning about grieving, mourning, and everything else. That I have to do this. I have to do this. It's important for me. It's important for me. And I got your sermon off here. I'll send something out to you in one of the links, hopefully. But I don't know how to reach out except trying to reach out one way or another. I've been trying to let people know about grieving and mourning. It's okay to talk about it. There are channels out there on Facebook that talk about this, and I peruse them from time to time just to let them know what's going on. And this is crazy that we're trying to hide it from all the time, but I know death is a passage. I know life is short, and we've already got our faith, our beliefs, our rituals to deal with the short life and also hopefully with the afterlife. Been there, done that, and it is crazy. It's not crazy. It is life on life's terms. But the thing in our own genetic makeup here, and I'm not talking about the physical, I'm talking about the spiritual makeup, is that we are created and we have things into our systems that make us human, make us feel, make us emote, and make us mourn. Especially when we put in a hell of a lot of investment in those that we care about. And then we feel the pain of the loss. I mean, sometimes I try to put it into zeros and ones, but it's never quantifiable. All I know is triggers one way or another, and I get triggered left and right. It could be shows, it could be life, it could be something else, it could be memories. And when they come, they come. There's a hell of a lot of pain. I've had pastors in my youth try to tell me about the afterlife when they hadn't even been through the process. 4 years old, open heart surgery, 1970. Cedars Sinai of Lebanon was the hospital. And now it's for over 50 years, 40 to 50 years between that time, Scientology, Hollywood, California. But it was the place when it was called Cedars of Lebanon that saved my life. A doctor saved my life. And I had a lifelong anger and hatred and distrust against the medical establishment. And maybe I probably misplaced that to God. Or at God, anyway. I used the medical as a scapegoat, but, testing, poking, prodding, turning me into a damn lab rat, into a pin cushion, see if this works, see if that works. Damn near kill me in the process. Get into accidents as a kid, one way or another, even a car accident. Almost had a car's tire because of another accident. I mean, I was a crazy kid. I was a crazy kid that was accident prone like crazy. And if that wasn't bad enough, my other channels, I'd do it into wind logs. in the wind files that talk about pets I lose. Even one particular first pet I lost, a rabbit. And I was too damn young for it, 5 years old. You think I don't know any better? What does a 5-year-old know? Bugged my ma about a rabbit in the pet store because he looked so cute. I wanted cute. I bugged her until I got the rabbit. My brother's task was to overseeing the care of the rabbit. It was supposed to be my rabbit, my responsibility. I'm supposed to clean out the cage. I'm supposed to give him food and water. I'm supposed to give him love. I'm supposed to do all these things. A 5-year-old supposed to know how to do all this damn stuff? I don't blame her. I blame me for that one just being a pain in the ass kid on her. Next thing I know, the rabbit's dead. My brother did all the mechanicals, but the one thing that rabbit needed was love. What the hell did I know at 5 years old? I never talked about him, or actually I rarely ever talked about him. I'll talk about 20 years, more than that, or almost roughly about that, losing a dog to a hit and run driver. I had to rush him to the hospital with my mother, and he passes away in my life and in my hands. I never forgave myself on that one. My dog was a runner, black and white terrier mix. Mutt had all the personality issues. He liked to be run and chased, but he comes back home anyway. Nobody's chasing him, so he'll go back home. And since he was my dog, he'll come back home. I didn't want to play the game because I was coming back home with my mother with a grocery run. He runs out. He wants to be chased. I can't chase him because we're taking care of the groceries. Next thing I hear is a scream of a car and the thump and the scream of the tires as they race off. Another one dies in my arms. I mean, I always want to die in my arms, actually. I've had to put down dogs because they're old and infirmed, and we couldn't deal with or take care of them anymore. Arthritis in the hips. Get the larger canines. The larger dogs need more maintenance than the smaller ones do. I had to put a dog down for the last 10 years dealing with stroke situations. Oh, yeah. That wasn't bad enough dealing with the pets being taken down left and right. And I had to keep moving on and working like crazy. I had to deal with humans. I had to deal with humans. I mean, it starts off with an uncle when I'm a young kid. And all throughout the lifetime, I'm losing aunts, uncles, grandma. Oh, that was, yeah, more friends, more family. Culminating with the last 11 years of my mother back in 2013. You happen to see the picture in the background there, Rev? My mother, Mary Ann Shaw, my big brother, David Shaw. Ma was back in February of 2013. My brother was September of 2019. In between that, there was a special friend of mine, who was a surrogate mother that we knew since '76. Oh, long stories and a lot of videos. She passed away several months after Ma did. A year after that, I lost another dog. That was the one I had stroked out. His name was Little Boy. Pappy and black and white terrier mix. We had him for a decade and a half. Couldn't get him to the hospital in time. So over the past 10 years, I've been struggling like crazy. Tried to get a goal going, which was going through community college, trying to finish that thing. I screwed up 2 years. Different place, different time, different attitude, different mentality. Young kid didn't know his ass from a hot rock. 58 years old. Been there since about 49. Yeah, 2 classes at a time. after Ma passed away and before David passed away, and COVID nightmare kicked in, and then struggling like crazy afterwards. Sometimes I had to take a semester off. I'm taking another semester off this time. I'm close to graduation, but I had to take it out just to be a caregiver again for my little dog. With my brother and my mother, I was caregiver. I got thrust into caregiving when my grandmother passed away in '82. About 3 years of her living at home, bedridden with a stroke. Half her body wouldn't work. But I always had to hold it in, hold it in, hold it in, because I had to be a tough kid. I had to be a tough kid. A lot of people kept telling me, you had to be a tough kid. You got to be a tough kid inside and not go crazy, not go moaning like crazy. So whatever kind of deep, dark feelings I had to keep them all stuffed down. Ma, when she passed, broke my brother, but he had to remain a shell. He had somebody else conning and scamming his life left and right, and when he passed away, I had to take care of that bit of a mess. Still waiting on the after effects, still waiting on the boomerang effect on that one. I had to watch my brother six all the time. Big brothers, little brothers. We do that for each other, family. At least some family members anyway. A lot of crap to talk about in my videos, a lot of them. I'll drive you nuts. I'll drive you nuts. Yeah, some people probably think I had a boring life. I had to deal with life on life's terms. I had to keep working, keep supporting my family. And Reverend, family's everything for me. I still think so, and it still tears me apart. Hell, I've already been triggered already today. Already gone through the tsunami sessions. I try to be nice and polite and friendly with people on the outside, but I tell you on the inside, I'm a Hollywood veneer. I'm a Hollywood facade, not with fresh support behind it. Termite ridden, ready to collapse at a second. That's me. I'm ready to collapse. I've been triggered so much right now, it's not even funny. Talking about family, talking about them, thinking about them, anything regarding or relating to family, one way or another. It's going in the head, and I'll be the person going nuts. But I keep it away from people left and right. I am in therapy, and even I have to put the facade on that one. I have to put it on there. Because I don't want my therapist to really think I'm really lost it and I should be locked up, but I'm not locked up for that. I haven't been. I look forward to avoiding it like crazy. But I keep praying to God, trying to talk to Him as we're talking right now, because a long time ago as a kid I tried. In a church I was sitting in there and I was feeling so damn alienated, it's not even funny. I mean, shit, it's the right age of 4 years old, and I'm supposed to feel something closer to Almighty. I was feeling terror, anger, confused, and everything else going on in between. It's no wonder every time I was in church and trying to pray, I couldn't pray. I couldn't. I couldn't get that spiritual connection. There have been very few times in my youth that I actually had that spiritual connection. You know the connection when you feel it. It's a power, it's a feeling beyond all recognition and vocabulary. It's not like being chemically on high. No, it's like your spirit got supercharged. At very few times in my life as a youth, but as an adult, I think I did things to God that ticked Him off at me. And now these days, since I'm going through the losing people left and right and going through a hell of a lot of changes that I'm still having a hard time trying to deal with. I don't have that many friends. I have hardly anybody coming over here to visit anyway. I get onto YouTube because I needed to get some therapy on myself. If there was going to be a day or a chance that I wasn't going to be here. And I got to put that on perspective here, Rev, because there had been times I thought that God would probably be ticked off about it anyway, but I got to talk about it anyway. That final pathway that we all keep coming across, we hear the stories from other people who leave the last notes and everything else behind, and just that's it, one way or another. Or they're dying and they know they're dying. I feel like I've failed him and I failed God. Well, Jesus anyway. I hadn't been what I should have been a long time ago. And I'm not quite sure how to be in that state of grace again where I can at least have a real conversation with him and just kind of feel like I needed to get a hug or an arm around the shoulder, you know? I don't try to hawk things. I don't try to push stuff down people's throats. I talk about what's on my thoughts, my feelings, and I'm not trying to sway or anything. I just every once in a great while it would have been nice to get that kind of energy level going up so I don't have to be as depressed. I don't have to go through the crying sessions left and right. And if I do, I'm constantly praying and pleading to God to forgive me that I'm going through this. It may be a human thing, but I know it's not exactly a human thing. Life goes through that process. Other creatures go through that process. We're not immune to it. We put social stigmas on this thing all the time. Talking about our feelings, talking about our grieving, talking about our mourning. We don't do it often enough. We're too damn ashamed, too damn afraid, and we got this image to uphold. This facade, this veneer. And again, this is what I talk about on my channel. I'd watch some old shows. I'd get the feelings. I'd get the subtle triggers. And automatically, I know. Here it goes. The eyes welling up. The breathing goes erratic. And all I want to do is hide from people, put the hands in front of my face, and pray for forgiveness while I'm crying my eyeballs out and using up toilet paper and paper towels. It's never that easy dealing with grieving a loss this deep. I never realized how deeply my family meant to me, except they meant a hell of a lot more to me than I cared to admit to myself. Even though sometimes I treated it as a joke, but I still loved them. I still loved Ma. I didn't want her to go. Ma died peacefully at the age of 75, or just about anyway. 19 days struggling in a hospital on a damn ventilator when originally she said a long time ago she didn't want to be a ventilator. What the hell happened? Shit, first dive February 1st, she passes away. Fire department fight like hell for about half an hour before they get her life back. Or I don't know, I lost track of time during that. Rushed her over to the hospital, put her in the ICU, and then put her over to the critical care unit. And she struggled for about nearly 2 weeks and a half before her body passes. And I think her soul was already left, but body didn't want to think about that. It was on the slow down, and she wasn't reacting to anything. At least not neurologically. I think her soul already left, but her body didn't realize it. So it just... But I guess just enough for my brother and I to keep going to 12-step meetings left and right. He was a recovering alcoholic, died sober, 32 years clean and sober. He was my inspiration. He was my hero. He had been through a hell of a lot. He said I'd helped him out a great deal, but shit. I guess we both helped each other out. I'll tell you how bad this gets, Rev. Age of 4 years old, my brother is writing a letter to the surgeon just before the operation, pleading with him to save my life. The surgeon passes off the letter to Ma. Ma keeps it in a box. It's like days after she passes away, and Dave and I are going through her stuff. We see the letter. You talk about being torn apart left and right, Rev. That was the only time David cried after that. Almost several months after she passes, we had gone to a friend's funeral as well, and we'd seen this musical picture video, a collage of their life from beginning to end with music of their choice, or that the deceased would love. I can't even see that word deceased. I've been through death before. I've been holding in the grief and pain for a hell of a long while, even for passing of animals that I loved a great deal. Because I had to work. I had to survive for the family. I had to provide for the family. We've had some good days. We've had some rotten days, but, we were still together as a family. And we tried to hold it together for all of our lives, for a long period. David passed. He just turned 60. He had complications of transischemic attacks in his head. Communication sucked, and so did his mobility. 24/7, here I am. Prior to that, before Ma passed, 24/7, relief for my brother, who was doing the primary caregiving for the last several years of Mom's life. So, Johnny on the spot. It wasn't a day that goes by that I don't, I don't forget it. There had been times maybe I'd longed to get it repeated again, but then again, if I happened to thought about what was happening these days, I'd have my mother and my brother remain where they are in heaven. I don't want them to go through these days. Oh, Mama. Oh, I'll get you going. Honey. I just need you over here for a minute. Can I get you? Can I squeeze? I need a squeeze. I need a hug. Oh, my latest. About 18, 19 years old. It's a wiener. This is the mamas. Little mamas. Ma called her little girl, but we called her mamas. When we got her, she just delivered a kid. A weagle. She got nailed by a beagle. She was about 1 or 2. She is the most important thing in my family right now. She matters a great deal to me and to my brother when he was around. And now she's got dementia. Some days she's got good days, and other days she thinks she's still a puppy and running around and almost blind. I have to keep an eye on this dog like crazy. Put your down, Mama. Hold on. Give me a second, I get you going. She just reverted. I got pee pads on the ground. She needs to go, she'll go. She'll use the ground. I'll still be able to clean it up that way. Taking a semester off to see how she does, if she's still going to be the way she is, and not showing a deterioration, then I can go back to another session back at community college. Some people think I'm strong and courageous. Are you kidding me? I keep praying for God's will to be done. I keep praying for His grace to be done, because I am definitely a fool and idiot, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time. I'm scared half the time, Rev. I am scared half the time, Reverend. I don't know what God's purpose is for me still. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a writer. I was lazy at the craft. I needed more practice. I had to go through more practice in different things just to write. But I got stuff I like to get published. I was trying to feed an ego at the time. I wanted to be like the writers I grew up with. Not like Hemingway or Chaucer. No, no, no. Roddenberry, Bradbury, Asimov, Brooks, and fantasy writers. King? No. No, 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 no. I'm not that demented. But it mattered a great deal to me, you know, at the time. I wrote stuff, but just hadn't bothered having anybody else see the damn thing. I was afraid of copyright, but also I was afraid of people not liking it. But did I like them? I missed these characters like crazy. I missed the stories like crazy because I was too damn busy living. In essence, I feel like I'm broken damaged goods, man. I wish these guys would come out in real life so I'd be crying and clawing on them for support. Reverend, when you lose family, I mean, when you seriously lose the people that matter a great deal to you in your life, you don't know how much the pain is or the wholeness. I'm understanding more and more about these guys committing suicide or these people committing suicide because they can't deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. You can't drug it out. You can't drink it, drink it to oblivion. I always kept telling people I gotta face this damn shit. Pardon my language. You have to face the pain. But sometimes I can't even deal with the damn pain. And I still pray God to forgive me for going through this because I got no choice. I mean, there always are different choices, but not those kind of choices I want to make. If I'm going upstairs, it's going to be up to God's will saying, okay, it's time for you to go. I won't even know what the damn choice or purpose I was supposed to do. I don't care. I'm still living. I'm still dealing. I'm still surviving. If, by any chance, either the stories or videos or something of my life actually matter to them, I'll probably find out about it up in heaven, and they'll probably say, oh, wow, is that what it was? But these days, I'm not focused on it. I'm focused on day-to-day survival. How I'm going to take care of my dog. How I'm going to take care of myself. How am I going to wake up in the morning and not feel like I want to kill myself, throw up, or just deal with the day in pain, even in physical pain. Ooh, stories on that one. How physical ailments and mental ailments. A lot of them. And why I'm right now as it is. I hurt like a bastard. And I'm trying not to push it down people's throats. I use this channel on frack. It was an emotional memory lifeboat originally. Talking about the things that mattered to me, what was hurting, what was helping, things I learned and lived, memories about my family, their past, as much as I can remember the stories and remember about them, so we don't fade into obscurity. Maybe somewhere, if there was going to be a roadmap to insanity, if I actually go through that one and then do that final route. And I'm already afraid enough as it is trying to face him on this one. Try writing stories about him and the angels and everything else and what they go through. Sheesh. Yeah, part of the basis of my books. But if I was facing him right now in this, I'd be ashamed of myself. Not that I'm crying like a crazy man. Probably. But I don't think I merited anything in my damn life except struggle for what I had to deal with. Trying not to hurt anybody in the process, trying to help people, trying to be of service, trying to do something. Trying to make a difference in this world one way or another. And not looking for a plug nickel about it either as a reward. I've seen people go through or heard and read the stories about people dying and they come back and they're old or trying to make profit of it and trying to tell them how well they dealt with death. Death scared the crap out of me all my life. I had to deal with it all my life. Been through the process. Rattles a cage a lot of times. Even though I was touched by by God's grace anyway. A couple of times probably when I needed it as a kid. But after that, as an adult, forget it. Like God screwed me over one way or another. Or maybe did I screw him over one way or another? And if it was, I've probably been dealing with hell in a handbasket. And me not realizing God was still trying to help me out one way or another, Rev. I'm sorry for the long rant. Sometimes it's a short rant, but this time I had to get stuff off my chest. Trump is the least of my damn things I could talk about. I know other people have their own issues. They have their own problems. But this is what I'm dealing with. I try not to be a burden to anybody else out there. I know I got pride, arrogance, egotistical megalomania going on. But I don't mind giving service when I can. That's part of my nature. As a kid, I liked giving people hugs. I don't do them anymore. People have an issue with regarding that. Anyway, I think I wasted too much of your time already. I think I've taken about over 30, 35 minutes of your life gone listening to me rant and rave. I just wanted to let you know what was happening today, Rev. I appreciate your sermons. I appreciate you, man. I talked to another guy named Artist in Recovery. He's on YouTube. He does his own recovery sessions. Sterile P, his real name, but over the past several months we've been getting tight. We exchange videos and letters. He's an inspiration to me too because he's also a man in program. We both know what hell's like. We also know what loss is like. Know what losing family's all about. Rev, if you ever lost anybody any being that you're that really connected to, maybe you understand. At least I hope you do. Anyway, don't be surprised if you happen to see any bugs walking around the screen or anywhere else for that matter. I'm dealing with a constant cockroach war. Long story, a lot of videos. I'll talk at you later, Rev.